Hello everyone, I am Muhammad Ahmad Qureshi, working as an assistant professor in Civil Engineering Department at RNG Patel Institute of Technology, Bardoli. Till now, we had studied three laws related to resolution of force, and now we will go further for resolution of more than two concurrent forces. Now, let us take an example. Four forces acting at point O are in equilibrium. Since the system is given in equilibrium, therefore the summation of all the horizontal forces and summation of all the vertical forces will be equals to 0. Hence your resultant will be 0. So then calculate P and theta for the system. Here four forces are given. First is 20 kilonewton, second is P force, third is 30 kilonewton, and fourth is 25 kilonewton. First of all, we will resolve the figure according to part angles. So this will be theta with respect to x only. This will be your plus x axis. This will be your minus. This will be your plus y axis, and this will be your minus y axis. So here P is making an angle theta with horizontal x-axis. Here 30 kilonewton is making an angle 45 degree with horizontal axis. But here 25 kilonewton is making an angle 30 degree with vertical axis. So we will make an angle 60 degree with reference to horizontal x-axis. So now 25 kilonewton is making an angle 60 degree with horizontal axis. Total is 90 degree, and out of that 30 degree with respect to y-axis and the remaining 60 degree with respect to x-axis. Now we will simplify the figure. So here horizontal component, that is 20 cos 0 degree, and here 20 sine 0 degree. Here there will be two components for P force. Horizontal component will be P cos theta, and the vertical component will be P sine theta. Here again 30 kilonewton will resolve in two components, 30 cos 45, and here 30 sine 45 degree. Now here this 25 kilonewton has two components. This will be your 25 cos 60 degree, and here 25 sine 60 degree. So we had resolved the figure in two components with reference to cos and with respect to sine. Now we will solve the example. Since we have given that the system is in equilibrium, since the system is in equilibrium, so sigma h will be 0, sigma v will be 0, and we know that if sigma h is 0 and sigma v is 0, then your resultant will also be 0. So first of all, we will calculate the horizontal forces, sum of all the horizontal forces. So first of all, first horizontal force is 20 cos 0. So 20 cos 0 degree. It is in this direction, hence it will be plus. Then our second horizontal force is P cos theta. P cos theta. It is also in first quadrant and in this direction, and hence it will be positive. Then our third component is this 30 cos 45 degree. Its direction is in second quadrant, hence it will be negative minus 30 cos 45. Then last here 25 cos 60 degree. Again this component is in third quadrant, so this will be also minus. So after solving the above value, you will get sigma h is nothing but 0, 20 cos 0 plus p cos theta minus 30 cos 45 minus 25 cos 60 degree. So 20 cos 0 plus p cos theta minus 30 cos 45 degree minus 25 cos 60 degree. So now in terms of p cos theta, and after solving these three values, you will get p cos theta as 13.71. So give this as equation number 1. Now we will solve the vertical forces, that is summation of all the vertical forces. So one vertical force is here 20 sine 0, second vertical force is p sine theta, third vertical force is 30 sine 45, and fourth vertical force is 25 sine 60. So value of 20 sine 0 will be positive as it is going in upward direction and in first quadrant. Value of 30 sine 45 will also be positive. Value of 25 sine 60 will be negative. Okay, so now we will go for vertical forces. So summation of all the vertical forces equals to, our first case is 20 cos 0. So here in case of vertical component it will be 20 sine 0, this component 20 sine 0. Again we will put here plus minus so that we can easily get the data. So 20 sine 0 will be plus, then p component for vertical plus p sine, making an angle theta with horizontal, so plus p sine theta, then this vertical component, that is plus 30 sine 45 degree, and lastly this component downward means it will be minus 25 sine, but this component will make 60 degree with the horizontal x-axis, so it will be minus 25 sine 60. And what is the value of sigma v? Sigma v is nothing but 0. So 0 equals to 20 sine 0 plus p sine theta plus 30 sine 45 degree minus 25 sine 60. Now in terms of p sine theta, you will get p sine theta equals to this, and this. You have to resolve all these three values, so you will get p sine theta equals to 0.44. Give it as equation number 2. And we know that Since both the system sigma h and sigma v are in equilibrium, hence our resultant will also be 0. So we can't use the equation capital R equals to under root of sigma h square plus sigma v square. So we have to solve this in terms of p sine theta and p cos theta, that is equation 1 and equation 2 implies p sine theta upon p cos theta equals to value of p sine theta is 0.44 and value of p cos theta is 13.71. So we will put both the values. So p sine theta equals to 0.44 and p cos theta equals to 13.71. So this pp will be cancelled. Sine theta upon cos theta will be tan theta, and after solving this you will get as 0.032. So our theta will be tan inverse of 0.032, which will be equal to 1.84 degree. We had calculated the value of theta. Now what we will do, we will put the value of theta in any of the above equation, either equation 1 or either equation 2. So now equation 1 implies p sine theta equals to 0.44. Therefore, p into sine, put the value of theta that we have obtained above, 1.84 equals to 0.44. Therefore, your p will be 13.70 kilo Newton. And since p sine theta is also positive and p cos theta is also positive, both are positive. Hence, our P will be in the first quadrant. Since P sine theta, that is here, this is positive as well as P cos theta is positive. Therefore, our P will be in the first quadrant. Hence, P is in the first quadrant. So, this way you can solve the example. Firstly, we have to calculate the value of sigma h. Then, from sigma h, we will got p cos theta. And then we have to find the value of sigma v. And from that, we will achieve p sine theta. After equating equation 1 and 2, we will get theta as 1.84, and by using any of the above equation, we get the value of P as 13.70 kilo Newton. Now, we will go for another example. Find the resultant of a force system shown below. So, this is your one force, 10 kilo Newton. 10 kilonewton is making an angle 60 degree with the horizontal x-axis. Then here, second force is 7 kilonewton. So 7 kilonewton is making an angle 90 degree with x-axis. Then 8 kilonewton. What is 8 kilonewton? It is going towards the object or towards the point. Means this force is right now in push condition. So this push force we are converting into pull force. And then 5 kilonewton. 5 kilonewton is making an angle 60 degree with y-axis. But according to part angle, we will take theta 30 degree with horizontal axis. Here total is 90 degree. And out of 90 degree, we have 60 degree. So the remaining angle will be 30. So just we are converting this figure into this. What we have done here, we had just converted this push force into pull force, and second, the 5 kilonewton with 30 degree. 5 kilonewton with 30 degree with the horizontal x-axis. So now what we have asked, find the resultant of a force system, means we have to calculate the value of capital R, and we know that for finding the value of capital R we have sigma square plus sigma v square, but both these values are right now unknown for us. So first we have to calculate the value of sigma h and sigma v. So now our first step will be to calculate the horizontal force, that is sigma h. For sigma h, this is your horizontal component, this will be your horizontal component. So here this will be your horizontal component, 7 cos 90, and here this will be your horizontal component, phi cos 30 degree. So all the four components we have to add in this sigma h. So first of all, 8 cos 0 degree plus minus plus minus. So in this direction, in this quadrant, your sigma h will be positive. So here plus 8 cos 0. Then 10 cos 60, 10 cos 60. This will be also positive as it lies in first quadrant. Then 7 cos 90. 7 cos 90 degrees also positive because it lies in first quadrant. Then 5 cos 30, 5 cos 30 degree. But it is in third quadrant, hence our sigma h will be negative. So here negative. So after solving these values, you will get sigma h equals to 8.67 kilonewton. It is positive, hence we will denote by this notation. Now we have to calculate the value of sigma v. So let us calculate sigma v equals to, this will be your first component, 80 vertical, hence it will be sine 80 sine 0 degree. Here 10 sine 60 degree. Here 7 sine 90 degree, and here 5 sine 30 degree. So first of all, sigma v equals to 8 sine 0 degree. It will be your plus, plus, minus, plus, and minus. So 8 sine 0 will be your plus as it lies in first quadrant. Then plus this component 10 sine 60 degree. Then our this component, third component, 7 sine 90 degree. This will be also plus. And lastly 5 sine 30 degree. It is in downward direction. So here it will be minus. So after solving the above components, you will get sigma v as 13.16 kilo Newton. So here you got sigma h as 8.67 kilonewton, and here sigma v as 13.16 kilo Newton. Now we may easily calculate the resultant of a force, that is capital R equals to under root of sigma square plus sigma v square. Put the values of sigma h and sigma v as obtained earlier. So sigma h is 8.67 square plus sigma v is 13.16 square. So you will get capital R as 15.76 kilo Newton. Now we will find the value of theta. So for that we have equation tan theta equals to summation of V upon summation of H, and summation of V we already achieved as 13.16 upon summation of H as 8.67, which will be equal to 1.517. So you will get theta equals to tan inverse of 1.517. So you will get theta as 56.60 degree. Since sigma h is positive and sigma v is positive, therefore your resultant will be in which quadrant? Your resultant will be in which quadrant? Both are positive, hence your resultant will be in the first quadrant. So here we will simple draw the figure locating the resultant and magnitude. So here, since sigma h is positive and sigma v is also positive, hence your r will be in the first quadrant, making an angle 56.60 degree. Now we will go for another example. What is given in example? Find the magnitude and direction, means we have to calculate the value of r and theta of the resultant force of a system shown below. So we have to calculate the value of r. We know that r equals to under root of sigma square plus sigma v square. So now sigma h equals to, first of all, we will locate all the horizontal forces in this figure. So here will be 30 cos 30. Then here 60 kilonewton is making an angle of 25 degree with vertical axis, but we will go with horizontal axis. So the total will be 75 degree. So 60 cos 75 degree. Then 50 kilonewton is making an angle 75 degree with horizontal x-axis. So here 50 cos 75 degree, and here 70 kilonewton is making an angle 45 degree with horizontal x-axis. So 70 cos 45 degree. So first of all, we will put all the horizontal forces in this equation. So sigma h equals to, first value is here 30 cos 30 degree. It will be plus, then 60 cos 75, but it is in second quadrant, and in second quadrant it is negative, so minus 60 cos 75 degree. Then our third force, third component, 50 cos 75, 50 cos 75 degree. It is also in third quadrant, and hence in third quadrant your horizontal force is negative, so minus 50 cos 75. And lastly here 70 cos 45 degree, and 70 cos 45 in fourth quadrant means it will be positive, so here plus. After solving the above equation, you will get a sigma h as 37.19 kilo Newton. Now we have to calculate the value of sigma v, that is summation of all the vertical forces. So this will be your 30 sine 30. This will be your 60, but not with vertical axis. It will make an angle 75 degree with horizontal axis. So 60 sine 75 degree. Here 50 sine 75 degree, and here 70 sine 45 degree. This will be your plus, minus, plus, and minus. So now we will calculate the vertical forces, summation of all the vertical forces. So our first component will be 30 sine 30. It lies in first quadrant, hence our vertical force is positive, so plus. Then 60 sine 75, 60 sine 75 degree. It also goes upward and in second quadrant, hence in second quadrant our vertical force will be, or vertical component will be positive, so plus. Then our third component 50 sine 75 degree, it is going downward, means it will be negative, so minus 50 sine 75. And lastly 70 sine 45 degree, it is also going downward, hence it will be negative, so minus 70 sine 45. Therefore sigma v will be minus 28.42 kilo Newton. So here sigma h is 37.19 positive, so it will go along positive x-axis, and sigma v is minus 28.42, so it will go near negative y-axis. Now we have to calculate the value of capital R as under root of sigma h square plus sigma v square. Therefore capital R equals to, putting the values of sigma h as 37.19, 37.19 square plus sigma v is nothing but minus 28.42 square. Therefore R will be 46.80 kilo Newton. So here we had calculated the value of resultant force as 46.80 kilo Newton. Now we have to find the direction. So our next step will be tan theta equals to sigma v by sigma h. So tan theta equals to, putting the value of sigma v as minus 28.42 upon 37.19, which will be equals to 28.42 upon 37.19. So your tan theta will be equals to 0.764. So our theta will be tan inverse of 0.764. Therefore theta equals to 37.38 degree. Since in this sum sigma h is positive, yes, sigma h is positive, and sigma v is negative, here minus 28.42 is negative. Therefore our resultant will be in which quadrant? Here we will simplify the figure: positive, negative, positive, negative. Our sigma h is positive and sigma v is negative. Hence, our R will be in fourth quadrant, making an angle with horizontal x-axis as theta equals to 37.38 degree. Now, we will go for fourth example. What is given in fourth example? Determine the magnitude and direction of the resultant as shown in figure. So, six forces are given: 2 kilonewton, 3 kilonewton, 4 kilonewton, 5 kilonewton, 6 kilonewton, and 7 kilonewton. All these forces are acting outwards from the center of a regular hexagon towards its corner, and for this we have to determine the magnitude and direction of the resultant. So we will go for formula: capital R equals to under root of sigma square plus sigma v square. But in that, sigma h and sigma v are unknown for us. So first of all, we will go with sigma h. Here sigma h equals to, first of all, we will locate all the horizontal component. This will be your 2 cos, making an angle with horizontal axis 0 degree. Here 3 cos, making an angle 60 degree with the horizontal. Here 4 kilonewton, 4 cos, making an angle 60 degree with the horizontal. Here 5 kilonewton, it is on the same line of action, hence our angle will be 0. Here 6 kilonewton, 6 cos, here the angles are missing, but we know that from here till here we have 90 degree, and in figure it is given that this is 30 degree. So your remaining portion will be 60 degree. So 6 cos 60 degree, and here in case of 7 kilonewton our component will be 7 cos. Same here, this theta is unknown, this angle is unknown, but this is given as 30 degree. So this will be your 60 degree. So 7 cos 60 degree. So all the three components of the forces are resolved. Now we will put the values here. So sigma h equals to, first is your nothing but 2 cos 0, 2 cos 0 degree. So here plus or minus, plus axis, minus axis, plus and minus. So your 2 cos 0 will be plus. So sigma h equals to plus 2 cos 0. Here again same, 3 cos 60. It is in first quadrant. Hence our horizontal component will be positive. So here plus 3 cos 60 degree. Now we will go for another, that is 4 cos 60. But it will be minus sign as it lies in second quadrant and its direction is towards it. So here will be minus 4 cos 60 degree, and here same, it is also towards second quadrant. So here minus 5 cos 0 degree. Same here, similar, 6 cos 60 degree, direction also same, and in third quadrant, hence sigma h will be negative. And lastly 7 cos 60 degree, it is in fourth quadrant, and in fourth quadrant our sigma h is positive, so plus. Therefore sigma h equals to, after solving all the 6 components, you will get sigma h as minus 3 kilonewton. It is minus, hence we denote by this notation. Now we will go for vertical component. So our next step will be sigma v equals to first 2 kilonewton. So here will be 2 sine 0, here 3 sine, making an angle 60 degree with horizontal. So 3 sine 60. Then we will go for 4 kilonewton. So our 4 kilonewton will be here 4 sine, making an angle 60 degree with the horizontal, and here 5 sine 0, here 6 sine till here 30 degree. So with reference to horizontal, it will be 60 degree sine 60. This will be 7 sine till here it is 30 degree. So with respect to horizontal, it will be 60. Now we will put all the values. So first of all, sigma v, this component 2 sine 0. This will be plus, plus, minus, plus, and here minus, plus 2 sine 0. Then second, 3 sine 60. It will be also plus. So plus 3 sine 60 degree. Then our next component is 4 sine 60. It is also in second quadrant, and in second quadrant our vertical component will be plus. So plus 4 sine 60 degree. Then here 5 sine 0. It is in second quadrant, hence it will be positive. So plus 5 sine 0 degree. Then here 6 sine 60, downward direction in third quadrant, hence it will be negative, minus 6 sine 60 degree. And lastly here 7 sine 16 downward, it will also be negative, minus 7 sine 60 degree. So after solving all the 6 components, you will get the value of sigma v as minus 5.196 kilonewton. It is minus, hence it lies in negative vertical axis. Now we will find the value of resultant force, that is capital R equals to under root of sigma square plus sigma v square. Therefore our R equals to, after putting both the values of sigma h and sigma v, we get sigma h is minus 3 square and sigma v is minus 5.196 square. So you will get the resultant as 6 kilonewton. Now we got the magnitude of the resultant force. Now we will go for direction. So for that, we know that tan theta equals to sigma v by sigma h, and value of sigma v is minus 5.196 and value of sigma h is minus 3. So after putting value of sigma v and sigma h, you will get tan theta as 1.73, and therefore your theta will be 60 degree. And here, since sigma h is also negative and sigma v is negative, hence our resultant will be in the third quadrant. Plus, minus, plus, minus. Here, sigma h is also negative and sigma v is also negative. So our resultant will lie in third quadrant. So this way you may calculate the value of resultant, that is capital R and theta. In all the examples related to resolution of more than two concurrent forces, you have to just use the basic formula of resultant, that is capital R equals to under root of sigma h square plus sigma v square, and next is tan theta equals to sigma v by sigma h. In all the examples, just go first for the value of sigma h, that is algebraic sum of horizontal forces, and then find sigma v, that is algebraic sum of vertical forces. After you achieve both the values of sigma h and sigma v, you have to go for capital R, resultant of all the forces. That is capital R equals to under root of sigma h square plus sigma v square, and tan theta equals to sigma v by sigma h. Just remember the conditions of equilibrium for coplanar concurrent forces. First is sigma h equals to 0, second is sigma v equals to 0, and third one is that r must be 0. How you will get r? Sigma h square plus sigma v square. And remember one thing, if sigma h is positive and sigma v is positive, then your resultant will be in the first quadrant. And if sigma h is negative, sigma v is positive, then your resultant will lies in second quadrant. Third, if sigma h is negative, sigma v is negative, then your resultant will be in the third quadrant. And fourth, that is last condition, if sigma h is positive and sigma v is negative, then your resultant will be in the fourth quadrant. So, these are the examples related to more than two concurrent forces. In our next lecture, we will go for another method, that is polygon law of forces. Generally, polygon law of forces is a graphical method and used for finding the magnitude and direction of the resultant. Similarly, we will also go for free body diagram in our next lecture. And finally, we will go for Lami's theorem. It is most important theorem for solving the orthogonal as well as non-orthogonal components. So, if you have any doubt, then you may ask me. Thank you.